Have you ever noticed that when you sit down to a task and get so involved in it that you forget everything? Hunger, cold, all your problems. Sometimes you even forget yourself, and all you have is a process of creation. Many famous people in history have described this state, from ancient philosophers like Heraclitus to modern artists and businessmen who describe entering the state where time feels to disappear and they become completely absorbed into their work. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi first named and popularized this state in his book Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience, and called it flow. When times to seem warp, actions become effortless, and full concentration leads to peak performance and enjoyment. Studies show that people in flow state 5 times more productive. When in flow, you're more receptive to information and learn 2 times faster. In this video I tell you about flow, what is it and how to get into it. Flow isn't about instant gratification or a fleeting high of achievement. It's a deeper happiness that comes from being fully engaged in the present moment. You drag yourself home from a job you hate, mentally exhausted and emotionally drained. You collapse on the couch and watch TV just to not think about problems. This is the reason why TV became so popular, because thoughts about problems are constantly somewhere on the periphery of our brain. They are waiting for our brain to stop concentrating on something and came out. Television or any other content became so popular because it simply drowns out our thoughts and prevents us from concentrating on ourselves. In the state of flow, you're completely focused on your work and what it will bring you useful, and you simply do not have time to think about the disadvantage of your work. To enter the flow state, two main conditions must be met. Firstly, the task should be challenging enough to keep you engaged but not so difficult that it leads to frustration. Secondly, mastery of the skill is crucial. The more you understand what you're doing, the easier it to enter flow. So, the first step towards entering the flow state is to engage in tasks that presents challenge. Let's refer to this as the tension stage. At this stage, we are straining our brain with tasks that require our full concentration. Tasks that may even cause a little frustration or irritation as we struggle with it. Such irritation that you get when you try to solve a complex problem. And now the main thing is not upset and go to the second stage. In this stage, it's time to step away from the task and allow yourself to relax. Press pause on the problem solving process, while our subconsciousness continue to work on it in the background. One effective strategy is to physically remote yourself from the workspace. Take a walk outside, or for example meditate for a few minutes. Take Ludwig van Beethoven for example. He took long walks in nature to clean his head and spark creativity before composing. LeBron James, the basketball superstar, incorporates meditation into his routine. Meditation helps him achieve a state of calm alertness, ideal for peak performance on the court. Give your brain the space to process information and generate fresh ideas. Try to take slow, deep breaths, allowing the air to fill your body. Concentrate on your surrounding, on your breath, and after some time you feel yourself relaxed. That's a sign that it's time to get to the third stage, flow. After achieving a state of relaxation, it's time to dive into your work. You find that despite calm mind, you quickly enter the process. It's like entering a trance-like state where you fully immerse yourself into the task at hand, feeling capable of handling any challenge that comes your way. For beginners, this flow state may last for under an hour, but with consistent practice over time, you can extend its duration significantly, even reaching up to 5 hours of uninterrupted workflow. Now we arrive at the final and most important stage, sleep. It is during sleep we learn, so when you are in flow state, you don't have to wait until the night. During sleep the brain processes all the information and experience it received during the day, and if you neglect the sleep, it will be more difficult to enter the flow state next time. But that's not all. You won't be able to enter the flow state in the subway or in another public space. Everything has its time and place. That's why it's crucial to consider the condition necessary for entering the flow state. Joanne Rowland rented a secluded island cottage while writing the final book of the Harry Potter series. This isolation provided her with a perfect environment to fully immerse herself in the world of her characters, enabling her to complete the manuscript. Similarly, Stephen King retreats to a secluded room he called his writing room. But why do they do it? To understand this, let's take a closer look at our brains and what happens when we enter the flow state. And simultaneously we can process only a tiny bit of the information that enters our brain. To listen to this video you already spent most of your limit, and when we enter a flow state, the prefrontal cortex responsible for complex decision making and self-awareness is temporarily disabled. You can say you forget who you are, but the presence of others prevents this. We can switch off our personality when surrounded by other people. This happens because the flow state requires all the resources of our brain, and therefore comes to sacrifice something, and first of all, our personality. The first criterion for entering the flow state is solitude. There must be no external distraction or individuals nearby. Even a single message on your phone can get you out of flow state. As your personality return, limit yourself as much as possible from people and phone. A separate room will help you. Second important aspect of achieving flow is establishing an anchor or trigger, a specific action or environment that consistently puts you in the right mindset. Joanne Rowling and Stephen King, who work in the same room, a space solely dedicated to writing. This environment allows them to immerse themselves fully in their work without any distractions. Similarly, you can develop your own ritual. It doesn't necessarily have to be a separate room. It could be as simple as drinking a cup of juice, exercise routine, cold shower, or even a specific time of the day for focus at work. By establishing these rituals, you signal your brain that it's time to enter the flow state, making it easier to achieve deep concentration and productivity. The final key aspect to consider is consistency. By entering the flow state consistently, day after day, your body and mind will begin to understand what you want from them. The body gets used to it, and then the flow will start automatically, and you won't have to make any efforts to enter the flow. This is why Rowling and King establish routines and environments for creativity. By consistently immersing themselves in space filled with triggers that signal it's time to focus and create, they train their mind to easily enter flow state whenever they sit down to work.